And there it is. We are live. Good evening. Happy Wednesday.
What day is it?
I'm pretty sure it's still February. I don't know.
It could be. Or it's the 69th of March. I don't know. Right.
And
The
that puts
days
the
kind of run
eyes
together.
Oh, there it was. And this is Empowered Live, our super awesome, extravagant talk show where we discuss all things, everything.
I
I'm sure
think
we won't.
everything. I like that.
Everything. All encompassing everything. But today, we're going to be talking about intentions and boundaries.
It's a lot to think about.
Boundaries.
Yeah, that was a lot to think about this week. To
Uh-huh.
because I was running it all through my head, trying to um, think about where it could go and what we could talk about. So I'm excited. This is a good one. I think that a lot of people, people have different ideas about intentions and how they work and what they bring to the party. And it is what it is. Intentions. Intentions, affirmations, boundaries. Intentions create boundaries, right?
Mm-hmm. And
Boundaries. What are you willing to accept into your life and what are you willing to put out? Because I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget about is, it, you know, if you're not willing to accept something but you're willing to do it, that kind of cancels it out, doesn't it?
does. Makes it
So your choices and actions can erase your intentions and your boundaries. But that's not fun to talk about.
it's not.
I think there's fun things to talk about when it comes to intentions. I think and boundaries, of course boundaries can really get you into that energy vampire talk show or talk show topic. And we already have a talk show on energy vampires. So if you just look below, you can go backwards after this one's done and listen to that one. If you've got time to kill.
Or you can go over to
We have
YouTube
no
while you're doing
boundaries about shameless plugs.
it. That's right, we don't. Or if you've got enough time to kill, go over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel so I can make a custom URL.
There you go. I mean, we're getting there. How many do you need? 100, right?
Hundo.
And how many do we have? 21, I think.
Didn't look.
So we just need 79 people to go over there and subscribe so we can have this custom URL, which I think is awesome. That would be.
It's a lot easier
why
to
not?
type in than UZ3 QHP6.
And
TRP.
bonus, if you subscribe to the channel when you log into YouTube, our channel will be right over there on the left-hand side of your screen if you do it from a computer.
Oh, winner.
Winner, winner, right? Like all the way around, it's a winner. Oh, boundary. I should have a boundary against the sound on my phone.
I should have a boundary against misspelling boundaries.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a good one too, actually.
Good stuff.
Definitely. That was a good one. I don't know, like I have issues with misspellings myself, but a lot of people don't, and I see misspellings all the time. And for a while I used that as something of a boundary. Like, oh, I am not signing up for your class. You don't even know how to spell worksheet. Right? So is that a boundary? Is that an intention? Is it none of the above? Is it just anal and jerk face? Or
I'm gonna go with option E, all of the above.
yeah, right. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Option E, it depends. Depends on the situation. So
Or if action is taken afterwards to turn the intention into reality.
there you go. So, what are intentions? I mean, you hear about intentions all the time, right? Cruel intentions, regular intentions, good intentions. What is it? The road to hell is paved with good intentions.
I think that's it. Yeah.
The intentions, intentions come in a lot of forms too. I was thinking that, many forms of energy work have some sort of intentions. Reiki's got the precepts, just for today, I will not, whatever, be angry or whatever they are. I don't particularly remember them off the top of my head, which is my own thing. So I don't want to hear about it. You can comment on it later. I'm not going to respond. There you go. Another boundary. But intentions are everywhere. So pure intentions, evil intentions, you hear it all over the place. So is there something unseen about intentions? Meaning energetic intentions and boundaries, do they work? Can they work? Like our prayer of intention, our prayer of protection, whatever you want to call it, and we say, only good comes to us, only good comes from us. We call that the intention piece. Does that work? Does it work?
I think it works.
I think it works.
I mean, how do I want to word that? Well, I guess in the beginning, in my initial journey into AK, or Amakua Key, for those who don't know the shorthand, I didn't feel it, that portion of it like I do now. Like now I can actually feel the energy, expand out and then not contract back in, but move back in during that portion of it that's saying energy or only good comes to us, only good comes from us, So by saying that intention, I mean, personally, I can actually feel the energetic push and pull of that statement. So I know it works on that level because I can feel it. It's something tangible for me, as untangible as that is.
It's interesting because as you were saying that, it occurred to me. I remember the whole gratitude journal thing, and it was like, one of those big TV talk show names said, every morning write 3 things in a journal that you're grateful for. It'll change your life. And I did it for months and nothing happened. I mean, it to the point where I had this book filled with basically words, and it got to the point where it was excruciating to come up with something I was grateful for because I didn't understand the process. And so what occurred to me later, because I do practice gratitude, and I believe that's a gratitude practice, but the piece that was missing for me at the time is exactly what you're talking about when you say only good comes to me, only good comes from me, and you can feel that energy moving in and out. You're connecting to the energy of the statement. You're connecting to the energy of the state of the intention. So is that different than just words coming out of the mouth? You know what I mean? Like just blah, blah, blah.
I mean, yes. Short answer, yes. I feel it's different because, I mean, I can sit here and talk all day. It doesn't mean anything unless, there's something attached to it, right? Another piece, instead of them just being empty words, they're words with action or words with, I guess, attachment.
Connection.
There we go. I like that better than attachment.
I think that you and I could say attachment and it would mean one thing, but a lot of people would hear the word attachment and think something entirely different and go to a place that we don't typically go.
Right. Well, right after it left my mouth, I tried to reel that one back in, but it was the same thought went through my brain. I was like, that's not the word I wanted to use.
You know what's really interesting, because I was working with someone today, a client, and the idea of that word attachment came up, and it was like, no, you don't say that, say something else. And so it happened to you and me today, the same day. So the idea that we're intentionally connected, right? Our boundaries are inclusive of each other. It's interesting that those synchronicities happen, and they happen more often, I think, as we move through all of this. So, and since I firmly believe my intention, only good comes to me, only good comes from me, I have no doubt that that's the case, right? Like, I trust that, I feel that, I enjoy that, I appreciate it, I have gratitude for it, I connect to the energy of it, and through intention and through boundary, I think we can expand our boundaries, right, to include those that to include other people that that have earned the honor to be there. Ooh, did I say that? You know what I mean? I don't mean it that way, but right. I mean, I do. You know what? It's the other way, really. I consider it an honor when I get access to the inside of someone else's boundaries. So
totally, I knew what you meant. But that was
I know. So that it's
a good second wording,
right? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of intentions out there, and I wonder if people would just set the intentions to be more grateful, to be more positive, to be more joyful, if some underlying force couldn't start shifting some of the shenanigans that are going on in the world, which this talk show is not about, but
right.
I don't know.
That's our other talk show that we don't record.
Yes, exactly. So you won't recognize us if you go looking for that talk show, but actually, go ahead.
Another way that I know that it works, since we're on the energy side of it, and I know you have similar. If we're all working on a client and some of the AK frequencies are pretty up there in powerfulness, power level. I mean, they can do some digging.
High frequency.
That's the one. Thanks.
Yeah.
And if someone's not able to assimilate to that frequency because of whatever's going on in their life or any number of things, for me, I get a lot of backup in my hands, and I know right away that it's not going to flow through to them to do the job, just because any number of reasons they're not ready for it. They're just not going to be able to assimilate it. It's just not in the highest good for them, and that's because of that. That intention piece of that prayer that we do before we do it, and yours is it just doesn't turn on, right? It just doesn't.
Yeah, it pretty much just doesn't run. I mean, so that's basically the. Oh my gosh! Stop. Sorry, I was trying to see how many viewers we had.
You clicked it too many times.
Yep. Because I have a itchy trigger thumb. Anyway, yes, and so I mean, I think that's really important, right? When you work with people energetically, to have those intentions in place and those boundaries. That is how it works for me. Do I tell everybody that's how it'll work for them? Of course not, but I do let them know that's how it works for me, because I stand firm and power in my intention. And I don't, I mean, the only person I've ever had an energy ball fight with is you.
Those are good times. Good fights.
Good times, but I would never, like, I think there's a responsibility or an awareness that we have to have as people who work in the energy and learn from the energy and study the energy, that we have a responsibility to the people we work with to manage what we put out there, right? Because as long as what we put out there and what we're willing to put out there, as long as that is in the highest good for everyone, then I think that's what comes back to us too. Two-way thing, right? Two-way street.
Definitely a two-way street.
So, is there somebody in the room with you?
No, I whacked my elbow and
Oh,
it pinched a nerve, so now my hand's kind of waking back up.
oh no. Put it up to the screen.
Now you can all see my oil painted fingers.
Rust-Oleum. He was creating a boundary for a roof.
There you go. Keep the oxygen out.
So, what's the impact of not having good boundaries?
Where to start? I mean, probably first and foremost that I see probably most often is people get walked all over.
Yeah, right. It's the person who you're working on. If they don't have the intention to accept it, are they harder to work with? You know what? I've run across people who think they've got the intention to accept it and don't. So I have had to have people I work with. It doesn't happen a lot, but I've had to ask people I'm working with to set the intention or to basically give their body to receive. So yeah, it is harder to work with. And how do you know that? You get that build up like Michael's talking about, or you get that that energy backing up, or me, I just have an awareness of nothing is basically happening. So yes, I don't know. I kind of equate that kind of a person to that person who doesn't want to have an oracle reading or a tarot reading because they're afraid of what they might be told. So I think there's some fear involved in that fear of the unseen, it typically is. So yes, that's absolutely true. So interesting. That's a really good question. What a good question.
Deborah's always got great questions. And I think
she really does.
I know a lot of the work I do is vocal as well to dive in. I know, Angie, you're the same. So, I mean, that can definitely back it up too, just if they don't have the intention to be open or, accept that we're in a safe space and, they're showing up to do the work too. Your questions? No.
If that's yeah, definitely not.
No.
Definitely not.
Questions are great.
Right. And it's that put yourself in that neutral space that's free from assumption, judgment, doubt, and fear. And then, just repeat after me or whatever. I'm open to receive whatever I need at this moment in time, or something of that nature. Because I think that sometimes there's many reasons someone would show up for energy work. They don't know anything about it. They do know something about it, but they don't know if they really want to do it. Somebody else said, "Ooh, you got to try this," or, like there's any number of reasons. But I haven't really ever worked with anyone that didn't walk away at least feeling calmer and more relaxed, right? No matter what. And the truth is, I mean, I've had myself in energy shares, Reiki shares, where it's been at the end of, where typically I'm working with Reiki practitioners. And again, sometimes I feel like it sounds like I'm bashing Reiki. I'm not. I just happen to be an AK practitioner. But I have had at the end of these where people are primarily doing Reiki, people come up to me and say, "What is that you're doing? That's different." So, to me, energy feels like energy for the most part, but I do recognize AK when I feel it. So if that tells you anything. So, man, that was a tangent. Are we still on intentions and boundaries? What were we talking about?
Still on
That's the way it
intentions and
is.
boundaries.
That's the way we are. You never know what you're gonna hear.
We're good for
I
tangents.
love how it's got the little YouTube picture thingy when we see her comments. We know where you are, where you're watching from. Anyway.
Where do we derail first at? Oh, right, boundaries. We were talking about boundaries.
Yes.
And I don't know.
We are good at derailing.
That's right.
Because we don't have boundaries against derailing.
No, we don't. I blame the conductor. He's on vacation right now.
Yeah, he's taking a break.
He's taking a break.
That's exactly right. Taking a break. Oh well.
Where do we? Oh, it was boundaries and how lack of boundaries can be detrimental. I think was the sum.
Oh, right. The question of what about people who don't have boundaries or set intentions or have boundaries? I mean, I think those are the people that you see that are all in what is that word? Drowning in drama, you know, or I mean those kind of things, right? Kind of spiraling out of control. Or ooh.
The ones that can't hop on social media without being triggered by something.
Yeah, them too. And the you know the ones, the E word. The E word.
Ewoks.
Yeah, that one. Ewoks. All they need to do is create some boundaries and they won't be quite so miserable or find it all quite so difficult. It can be done. So but you know, the problem with boundaries, I guess, is this, that they don't override your agenda or your narrative. You know, if you here comes the word in the appropriate place. If for whatever reason you are attached to the victim situation, you can set as many boundaries as you want. They're not going to work, right? Like if you're attached to being able to say that energy makes me miserable, then boundaries are not going to work. If, you know, for the Ewoks, right?
Right. I mean, well, that's that's kind of an intention too, right? But an ill-fated one.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Like a reverse.
Yep. You're already saying, you know, that there's no chance or no way that, you know, that this is going to work because you're already putting the intention out there that it won't.
And then what is that? Bam! Limiting belief.
There you go.
How does it always circle back around to limiting belief?
I knew it was going to come up eventually. I'm surprised it took 24 minutes.
You know what, though? I mean, I guess that, because that's what I always say, you know, when I tell people, I am not afraid of things I can't see, period. I am not. And I, you know, the boundaries that I have are this X, whatever. Or, you know, if you're miserable when you go into the grocery store on Saturday morning, you set a boundary, right? An energetic boundary to keep yourself from reacting. You walk in centered and balanced, set a boundary to keep yourself from reacting to all that energy around you. But here's the one big thing. Won't work if you don't believe it, right?
Right.
Just won't.
I mean, that's kind of what we were talking about earlier, you know, then it's just an empty word without having a connection to an action. You know.
Yes, right? You got to connect to the energy of it. I think, I mean, that's what it's all about, right? I don't know, you know, you look around and you see, oh, learn to connect with energy, learn to see auras, learn to do this, learn to do, I don't really care if I see an aura, ever. I suppose I could if I wanted to, but to me, it's not valuable. right? To
Right.
see the colors surrounding somebody.
Doesn't,
Like that's a
doesn't fit
parlor
in your
trick
framework.
almost. Yeah. But I don't know, you know, it's like I want to bring this stuff into the real world, into the 3D, right? That's where we live, in the third dimension. It's where we live. So that's where my boundaries are, here. And if I spend too much time, you know, like doing Akashic work or something, that's where my energy starts to drain. And if I'm talking with someone, you know, working with somebody or something, and really connecting to that higher wisdom, they can literally watch me run out of gas, you know. So you have to create those boundaries. I mean, we talk about an energy vampire, the fifth dimension, energy vampire written all over it. Got, you know, boundaries. You got to have boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
Turn the faucet on, turn it off, light switch, close the door, open the door, whatever that looks like. And that is the magic of intention, right? It can look like whatever you make it look like.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had anybody it didn't work for.
It's worked for me.
There you go. Right? Like, so. I don't know.
I intend to stay on track. There we go.
We do try to stay on track.
I think
our
side conversations are usually pretty valuable.
Also, yep. Also a good point. And you know what? That was the whole point, right? Is to make this not so somber and so heavy, and make it more entertaining, and bring it to a place where, not to be irreverent, right? Like not to make fun or poke fun. You know, there's an important to ritual. There's an important to, you know, antiquity and systems and all of those things. Those things are all important, but some of that feels so heavy to me. You know, like when I think of some of those really heavy ritualistic and amazing and beautiful spiritual situations, but they just feel so heavy to me. I mean, I'm the one that said, I don't like to release by crying. I want to laugh. So I do.
That's an intention and a boundary, right?
Yeah. So magic of intention. She likes. I like that too, right? Magic of intention.
Yeah,
I like the word magic.
There's always going to be a constant lag. So that's not you. That is the platform.
Yeah, I think there is a lag from us to YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the lag is higher.
For comments for everything. Oh, higher on YouTube. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. I think the lag is more on YouTube than it is on Facebook, but I could be wrong about that. I have no intention of actually figuring it out in this moment. So we are just going to honor you, appreciate you, and if your comments are a little out of sync, it's okay with us. Right? There you go. The magic of intention. So there we go. Off track once again, I got.
We're good for it.
We are. We are. It's really interesting, you know, that as we're moving into the sort of last quarter of the year, and all of the things that manifested for us in this year that you know, I can't wait to see what it looks like moving forward. Anyway, since we lost the train track, I think what you need is that little, you know how you've got the banner for StreamYard? That's what we're broadcasting through is StreamYard. There's a banner. You should have a little banner that says shameless plug, and you could flash it when we make a shameless plug.
I'm going to set that up right now.
Because we do intend to access shameless plugs every now and then. So I don't know. Is our boundaries and intentions enough for an entire hour? My goodness, feels like we must be missing something because I feel like um, what's left?
They are out of sync. I blame Facebook.
Ah, okay, that makes
Oh,
sense.
I mean, well, we can dive into that intentions don't need to be so complicated. And so,
Oh yeah.
I mean, same with boundaries. I feel that sometimes people like to overcomplicate them.
You know what?
And
And then here's the
that's
other
not to say
thing.
like, not that they shouldn't be specific, but they just shouldn't be so complicated.
No, right? And then oh, that's every time a shameless plug. Every time we plug one of our other things, like our level 1 class that's on Saturday, the 26th.
Next Saturday. Yep, there we go.
Correct. Shameless plug. Anyway, yes, like and the idea of honoring your boundaries, right? I completely forgot about that.
There we go.
Because I was just telling that story today and I'll just go quickly. I didn't even realize the power of energetic boundaries, right? Where you can create boundaries where you don't even have to march around and tell everybody, this is what I will and won't accept. I had rules in my life, my whole life. If a job makes me cry, or if a boss calls me stupid, I'm out. So I had a job that made me cry and one boss that called me stupid, and I left both of them. And then subsequently, I worked in other places where the bosses had the habit of calling people stupid or making people cry, but they never did it to me, ever. And I didn't realize until much later. I mean, I had an idea, like I would look at him, the one guy, and he'd be doing it to one of the girls, and I'd be like, why is she still here? Like, why is she standing there taking that? And then once in a while, I'd wonder, why is he not doing it to me? Because he knew I would grab my purse and hit the road, right? On some level, he must have understood because he did it to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Could I say it's because I, didn't do things to piss him off? Sure, that is probably part of it, right? But there's no excuse for that kind of no excuse for that kind of operating system.
Right.
But the point is that if in the beginning, when I said to myself, if a job makes me cry, I'm out. When that guy made me cry, if I had stayed, then that would have derailed the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think, right? Because now I didn't honor my boundaries. If only good comes to you, then only good must come from you, and you have control what comes from you, right? Like you can't say in the morning only good comes to me, only good comes from me, and then run out and rob a bank.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that doesn't work.
Right.
that doesn't work. And naturally, I got bit by that myself in a place where everybody does this one particular thing that's, illegal in a right turn lane. Day after day, hundreds of people, I see it all the time. Nobody ever gets stopped. I did it once and got a ticket. Like, seriously? One time. I broke my boundaries. Because my idea is you don't get in trouble with the cops if you drive not drinking, if you have insurance, if you have license plates and you don't speed, right? Like you don't do anything wrong, you don't get in trouble. And then the one time I did it, 4 hours in traffic school and hundreds of dollars, for going around somebody in a right turn lane. Like that's crazy, but
But
gotta
at least,
be willing
the
to.
universe gave you that awareness right off the bat.
Yeah, right.
Too many belief structures in place that needed to be dissolved later.
That's a very good point.
Making it easy for you.
Yep, that's a very good point. I was like, oh, okay. Guess this is not going to happen again. So, yeah, I mean, if you want, boundaries, they've got to be two-way. You have to be willing to honor them. Yep, I manifested that through my intention. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, I mean, if you look at manifesting and what it is, and once again, it is not poof, there's $1 million in the middle of the floor. Manifesting is deciding what you want and then adjusting your vibration to match it so that it comes your way, right? So I decided I didn't want to have a job that made me cry. I set that rule, that boundary for myself, and then I manifested the job that didn't. Perfect. I mean, we need this girl in class. We got to get her in class, right? We need to get her in class. So, anyway, so yes, that's exactly right. Brilliant, 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 brilliant. And we intend to make it easy.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right.
That's the first intention. Always.
I mean, there's a lot, I was watching a TV show today and it actually showed the last rites, like a Catholic priest giving someone the last rites. And I sat and I watched it. I mean, it's not my thing. Everybody knows that. But I watched the ritual of it. And I could see that the ritual of it, that there was comfort in it, right? For the family, for the person. So to me, that's like the best of what religion is about, is that thing,
Mm-hmm.
not the sort of organization and the, give me all your money. And if the girls money weighs more, then they'll all get candy, and if the boys, then they will. And I actually remember that. But the point is, so there is place for those things and place to honor those things. And I think you can honor them and appreciate them and look at them and still honor yourself and not want things to be too terribly complicated. Like I don't want to watch a 4-hour movie all the time. Right? But every now and then, or I don't want to watch 2 seasons of Cobra Kai from 10 o'clock at night until the next thing I know is 5 o'clock in the morning all the time. But every once in a while, there was a lot of lessons.
You made that aware to me, so then I didn't follow suit and do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Because I had no idea it was 5 a.m. I forgot to set an intention to shut it off at, a reasonable hour. I was like, 5 o'clock? What are you? Because it just kept playing and playing.
Yep.
So good, by the way. This will be a shameless plug for Cobra Kai. Wow, is it good? Like, I heard it.
So
Whoopi Goldberg said it.
Yeah.
She's like, it is really well done. It is so well done. That's what I'm watching. You should watch it. And I was like, and then I was like, So then I was like, I got nothing to watch. Well, turn it on. It was amazing.
Yeah,
so good.
Dynamic character flip-flopping. It's great.
Yeah.
Like constantly. Anyway, whoa. Let's dial it back.
Yeah, right. Right. That's that. That's that formula for that kind of thing, right? Yep. Like, so you see it stretched out in a series rather than in a condensed into a 90-minute movie. So it's a little bit more. I did actually read that they've got the season 3 is in the can already. So when it will be released on time, whenever that is in 2021. So
in the can, in a good way, not like in the trash.
Oh yeah, no, in she just has to make sure. Oh, she just has to make sure her family leaves her alone.
Just set up a boundary; it'll be fine.
earbuds or earphones, whatever. And if you can do a computer, that would be great. If you got to do it on the phone, that's okay too. Anyway, in a good way. But what I was going to say is that you and I need to set the intention to have a bunch of stuff done before it comes out. I think you and I need benchmarks, so that could be one of them. You know, we have to have something completed before that. And I don't actually know when it's
working on.
Yeah, we got a lot we're working on. We really do. We've got a lot of really cool and juicy stuff that we're working on. We just have to get it up and get it out there. Really exciting, stuff too. So I don't know well, you and I are very similar in a lot of ways, and all those sort of Akashic manifesting shenanigans ways that make it more difficult for us to get from beginning to end, I guess. But what are you gonna do?
Keep on trucking.
Boy, I didn't even have to get any farther than the C, and it said first 2 seasons. The third season is set to release in 2021. That's all it says.
It could be January. We might be in trouble.
Well, January would be good. A big boundary. Yep, a big boundary. That's what we need, he and I, like a little boundary and then a little further out boundary and then another boundary. That's how we have so much stuff that's already ready to go. We just have to get it out there.
Yep.
So we got to set some intentions to release these things to you folks, because I guarantee you're going to love some of them. No, you're going to love all of them.
All of them. Well, I like that, releasing in a different way than we normally talk about it. Just the word, right? Release it out to the people, as opposed to, usually when we're working and we're talking about release, it's more of something. It's usually something that no longer serves, but in that context, it was like a good thing. For whatever reason, that just sparked my brain it's not usually how we use that word.
That's awesome, really, when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. There might be some work to be done on that, huh?
Yeah, because I'm thinking time to start looking maybe at some energetic intentions and some energetic boundaries. Like maybe we need to get that stuff in a suitcase and start releasing it. Like get it out there. Maybe we're holding it too close to the vest.
That's actually thinking.
Yeah. Wow. See, you just never know what's going to come up. I mean, these conversations are honestly as much for us as they are for those of you that are listening. But the idea is if you follow our lead and understand that we're all about empowerment. That was a shameless plug. Should have been on the thing.
I was writing.
Oh, good job. So, I mean, really, that is our goal, is to empower ourselves and other people to understand that they can make these connections for themselves. They can connect to their higher wisdom. They can align with who they are at soul level, align with their divinity, align with their purpose, whatever word. There you go. Leave mama alone boundary. See, there you go. Derailed. Pick it up, Michael. Got lost.
I was
not listening. Fantastic.
I was writing. And then
it's good that you were writing. Writing.
I know.
Anyway, the idea is we want to empower people to understand that they can do this just the way that we do it. That we are amazing, and together we are that's what magic is, really, is in the collaboration. But we're not special. Well, we are special, but you're all special. Everybody's special. There's nothing, just so happens that we got used to being able to talk online when so many people are afraid of doing Facebook Lives or whatever, and we don't have any problem with that. We happen to cross paths at a time when Amakoki was, really building its foundation, and so we're standing firmly on that foundation. I mean, there's a lot of synchronicity there, but the idea is what we have to offer is that empowerment that we can work with you and you can do whatever it is that you want to do. It doesn't have to be an energy practice. It can be whatever you want it to be. But this learning to connect with your own inner wisdom, with your own higher wisdom, that right there is the ultimate. It's what we want for all of you.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
That was well said.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that release in the opposite way that had me going.
Yeah, that's no, I think that's
But I did do this also in the meantime too.
Fantastic. I love it. You know what? That's something we're going to have to really sit with, releasing the opposite way, because I think there's there is something really.
Yeah, there's a lot to dissect in that.
And a lot to, I mean.
That's a good one.
Yep, that's fantastic. Wow. So I felt something shift right away just in the idea of it, releasing the other way. Wow.
Well,
see how that works?
Sweet ideas and things a nice swift kick out of the nest,
I mean, that's it, right? Isn't it? That's part of it. I'm sure that's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that is a big part of it, probably. That that we are reluctant to kick our stuff out of the nest, right? To let go of those things. So releasing, I love it. Mm-hmm. Because you know what it does? It makes room for more, right?
Right.
Makes room for more. Wow. Who knew?
Nope.
What a thing, talk show, like talk show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, YouTube channel. I mean, we do have 21 subscribers.
And we're looking for more. So if you go over to YouTube and hit that subscribe button, and then I can make a custom URL. Oh man, no one ever should have told me about this banner thing, because now I'm
but I love it. I don't know. I saw it so clearly that I wanted to make sure I told you about it. I just saw it, so I was like, oh gosh, we just really got to do that, because it's just so,
It adds to it, right? Who doesn't like a
flex?
Yep.
I mean, sadly, of course, if you're listening on the podcast, as a podcast, you can't actually see that crawler at the bottom saying shameless plug. But, if you watch on YouTube, if you go from the podcast over to YouTube and then you hit the subscribe button, then we can get our custom URL. You can see the shameless plug banner. And who knows, maybe at some point we'll use that banner as a way to give away free sessions or gifts or something. Wouldn't that be cool?
Ooh, it's not a bad idea. I'm going to jot that one down.
So, wow. What a night. Man, you just never know when you're going to get a gift. Mm-hmm. That was a gift. I love that.
Oh man, now this whole opposite way of looking at releases spawned looking at a lot of other keywords that we use all the time, thinking and, changing the perspective on them and changing their role to be the opposite.
Flip the script, right?
There we go.
Wow. I mean, that's what everybody needs to learn to do anyway, right? Thanks, Deb. I mean, so many people, if they could just learn to flip the script, right? Get you a mohawk, shave the sides, turn into a big jerk. No.
Get a sweet backpack too at 16.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I'm gonna have to make a new banner for Cobra Kai references.
Yeah, right.
I feel there are gonna be a plenty.
Well, it was amazing. But anyway, wow. Where does the time go? Like 7:52. We've been on for an hour almost already. It's crazy how fast it goes. Well, I mean, you and I could talk for 3, 4, 5. I mean, how many times? Yep. How many times have we gotten into a conversation? I don't know. I was thinking about. I had some ideas about people to bring on, as guests. But once again, if you have an idea or something you'd like to hear about, drop it in the comments so we have an idea. I mean, we've got a lot of cool friends, musicians and card readers and, stuff.
Other practitioners, all the good stuff.
Yeah, lots of different things. So if there's something you're interested in, or if you're watching and you have something you'd like to talk about, we can get you an invitation to join us, and that would be fun too. In fact, I think it would be lovely to have somebody on who needs to sort of stretch that boundary a little bit for themselves and get over the idea of talking online or podcast or whatever. So we can throw that out as a challenge maybe. I mean, it'd be a lot more fun to try to do it on a channel or on a with other people instead of just doing it by yourself. So I mean, you can stretch those things. I remember way back when I was being pushed to do Facebook Lives by someone, and I was like, all right, well, I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I'm just not going to do it. So I finally decided that I was going to challenge myself. So I said, I'm going to do it every night for a week. And I'm not going to even give myself a topic or anything. I'm just going to get on and I'm going to talk. 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever. And by the end of the first one was kind of herky-jerky and a little problematic. And, I was still finding my sea legs, so to speak. But by the 7th one, I was really very much enjoying it. Even though I was only talking, it was just me. I got good feedback. People were enjoying listening to me. They were, grateful for whatever wisdom I might have shared. So I thought, oh, wow, I can do this. So there, sometimes you just have to bust through that barrier, which is different than a boundary.
That's right.
And do it. Just do it. So, wow, 7:55. Is it time for shameless plugs?
I think it is. Let me set up.
That is so funny. Wow, it's so great to sit and chat with y'all. We're so grateful that you come out and listen to us. Here's the actual truth, though. If nobody listened, we'd probably still do it. Right?
Anyway.
Sooner or later, somebody's going to listen. And we love the idea that these are going onto YouTube so that if you don't have time to tune in live, you can still watch it as a replay. So every Wednesday night, have we come up with the topic for next Wednesday? Not yet? Or did we?
Just because it came up, was no, because we want to push that one back. We don't have a topic yet.
You sure? Because it sounded for a moment like we
Well,
did.
it was I was thinking limiting beliefs and foundations, but we've decided previously to push that one back a little bit. I think. I mean, we could make like a whole month on those two topics, I feel.
Yeah, that is the truth. That is the truth. Well, we'll confab a little bit, and maybe we'll we'll get that topic up a little faster maybe this time, but just not now. So the shameless plug for this moment is next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Time. We will be back for our super awesome MPowered Live talk show.
Bingo.
And then we have
the level 1 Amakua Key class. There we go. Is September 26th, which is a Saturday at 10 a.m. CDT. And then, of course, we have our staples Thursdays, 7 p.m. midweek balancing / meditation / whatever else decides to come through for us, because something always does. And then we have the same thing on Sundays at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And then, because I always forget to write this one on the list. But if you don't have time to watch these, or you're driving, or you're a long drive commuter, we take all the audio from the talk shows and throw them into podcasts. So you can always find those on anchor.fm, MPowered Live. Now I don't remember what it was.
While he's looking, I'll tell you that you can go to the Lasting Serenity or the Empowered Serenity page and find the event for the class on Saturday the 26th. So there's a ticketing link in there. If you can't find it or can't sort out how to make that work, just please feel free to reach out to us. And we will gladly talk you through that, get you a link. So that's all good. Don't forget our MPowered Serenity Insiders Facebook group. So every now and then there'll be a little something in there that that you don't get to see anywhere else. And then of course there will be, YouTube exclusives too, as gift to our subscribers. So I think for the moment, that's what I've got for the shameless plugs.
And it is anchor.fm / MPowered Live for
there you go.
Podcast. So just the audio from these. And as always, just make 79 Gmail accounts and just subscribe to the YouTube channel so I can get a custom URL for that.
Oh my gosh.
Suppose I could do that myself.
All right.
Boom, there's that. Banner down. All right.
I think
we're good. That's it. Got all the plugs in there. And
we'll sure did.
See you guys tomorrow at 7.
Awesome sauce.
For the midweek balancing meditation extravaganza exploration deluxe.
There
it is.
Perfect.
All right, everybody. Michael.
I'm Angie.
And this was MPowered Live. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.